Hello. Thanks for being here. I just wanted to share a couple things that have been on my mind lately. If you ever felt like you were showing up with a mask on, or that you were almost an avatar in that language, but you really weren't who you were. Um, and I think this is something that a lot of us struggle with probably our entire life. And I can share probably almost all of my life, until maybe recently. I've felt that I wasn't really in my own skin, so to speak. Um, but for those who don't know me, I'm Lauri Ingram. I'm a spiritual advisor, spiritual companion, and I companion people who are feeling a bit lost in life, not quite sure where they fit in the world. Because honestly, that's been my journey. Up until a year or two ago, I had a very long corporate career in information technology. Had a lot of great people that I worked with, was part of a lot of really great projects. But yet I never felt that it was really me. While it was a thing I could do, it wasn't who I was at my core, in my essence. And boy, just over 10 years ago or so, that propelled me on a journey to figure out who the heck Lauri is. How can I remove that mask, that persona that I stand behind? And how do I really fit in to whatever it is that this life is? And that's what I want to talk to you a bit about, because I do think that many of us just go through life surviving without really taking the time to ask those kinds of questions, right? So, authenticity to me is really about aligning everything we do with our true self and, in effect, our purpose. And purpose is not necessarily, for me, a destination. Purpose for me is really a way of being, a way of showing up. It's not like when I get that title, when I get that job, when I have that training or that certification, that suddenly I'll have my purpose. I think our purpose is in unraveling and discovering the things that bring us joy, the things that we can authentically experience and share with others. I am giving back now in advising others and mentoring and companioning people on their own journey, wherever that may take them. And for some people, it takes them to a changing career. And for other people, it just, it may help them understand what it is that they even want to do in life. It may be simple. Sometimes it is just simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. So the question I have for you now is, what aspects of your life do you feel are in alignment with who you really are? And let's think about self-belief from another perspective as well. I believe, and there's lots of language for this, but I do believe that we are all connected to each other as well as something larger than us. And there are so many names for that. And in some ways, there is no name for that. But whatever language you use, I invite you to use that language. Whereas I tend to use the language of universe or source energy. Other people may use God or spirit or the land or God. There's so many words. But it's really about what your truth is and how you express that. So if I think back on my own journey to unraveling, one of the things that was very, very insightful for me was journaling. Because the first step is really self-awareness. You really have to be able to see yourself. And also understand that there are stories and patterns and things that we put on ourselves because of perhaps the way we grew up, or perhaps just society, or the constant bombardment of social media. There's so many ways that we often feel that we need to be something different than what we are. So I ask you too to take a moment, just consider, in my life, what am I doing that perhaps is because I think I should be? Perhaps because what I think others expect me to be, as opposed to what you're really feeling is true to you. And I'm currently reading the book Worthy, and it really resonated with me that ultimately the foundation of everything is self-worth. Being able to find that intrinsic validation, and not only to know it, but to feel it and believe it, that everybody, myself, you, are all worthy of whatever life brings us and whatever we may do. And there's many ways that we explore that. We explore that in service. We explore that in community. We explore that in getting to know ourselves, right? Self-care, soul care is actually my preference. So consider, what do you really feel in your core that you are worthy of all life has to offer, all the opportunities. So I guess I want to end with an invitation to consider that this journey of life from a spiritual perspective is really about the uncovering, delayering, removing those masks, believing and owning our potential, building those tools for self-worth and for self-confidence, and ultimately being okay with who we are, living in our skin and being good with that. So it's a lifelong journey, I believe, of true self-discovery and empowerment. One that I don't believe we probably ever totally get there. But when we can look back on our life and see where we came from and do that periodically, and we can see, yeah, I'm not so much a different person, but maybe I'm just more who I always was. And that's not different, that's just true. So anyway, love to know your thoughts. And be sure to subscribe to my channel here for more, my YouTube channel, and also my newsletter. So thank you, and may your day go with ease.